exciting time for the brand, taking its first step onto USA Network on a weekly basis starting this Wednesday. I just want to make sure that everybody is aware this Wednesday and the following Wednesday on the 25th, we will be 1 hour on the USA Network live, and then go directly to 1 hour on the WWE Network live. So the show will still be 2 hours, 1 hour of live content on USA, 1 hour of live content on the network. And then starting on October 2, we will be on the USA Network every week live for 2 hours, 8 p.m. Eastern time. So obviously, as you can see, exciting time for us in the shift. Talent are geared up. I think if you are paying attention on social, which I know all of you are, their excitement comes through. And it should be a really strong starting episode of NXT. If you remember, we have a fatal four-way match for the NXT Women's Championship #1 contenders with Bianca Belair, Candice LeRae, Mia Yim, and Io Shirai. We also have a North American Championship match with Velveteen Dream, the champion, defending against Roderick Strong from the Undisputed Era, with the opportunity for the Undisputed Era to fulfill their self-proclaimed destiny of holding all the championships in NXT. And then also a street fight between Killian Dane and Matt Riddle, which, if it's anything like their first outing, should be spectacular. So it's an exciting time. I'm going to open this up to questions, and I look forward to hearing them all, and thank you again for the support.
And as a reminder, that is *1 to ask a question, and please limit yourselves to one question and one follow-up. We will take our first question from Mike Johnson with PW Insider. Please go ahead.
How are you, Paul?
Congratulations for being back on the top of the list, Mike.
Well, I'll let Brian Fritz go out of where I tossed him in about an hour, so I should be. I was wondering if you could give us some insight into what will make you personally happy in terms of viewership for the series now that it's going to be on USA. When you guys had the special in December 2017, you did about 841,000 overnight viewers. Obviously, with DVR and whatnot, the number probably grew from there. But I don't expect you to give us a definitive number. But in terms of viewership, if you hit that area, are you happy? What would make Paul Levesque happy in terms of viewership when the numbers start to filter in?
Well, the truth is, when we did that back then, the brand was slightly different, in a little bit of a different position, and we did it with almost zero promotion. This is a little bit different, but the truth for me is I'm not necessarily looking. I think the initial numbers are big, in meaning to us. But I'm really interested in the long haul of what it does. This isn't about coming in and doing a shock number or something up front and hot-shotting. This is about building a brand and a whole nother franchise. As you've seen we've done over the last 5 or so years with NXT, it's been about one event after the other and building momentum and doing it right, not rushing ourselves, not getting ahead of ourselves. We built the brand, then we put it on the network and got to a point where we could do live specials, and then added them as we felt we were ready to do, and went further and further down the line and kept increasing the quality of the product. So I think we're here in this moment because it's the right time for us to be in a bigger platform, something we've been working on for the last year and a half, 2 years. The timing is right. Here we are, but I don't want it to look like, man, we're all guns blazing on these first couple of episodes, and I'm going to be uber disappointed if they don't do a certain number. I'm in this for the long haul. there by a little bit, and people go, oh, it's got to be disappointing, you know. I will be happy if this show is great, and if talent have great performances, if we are able to put on something that we're proud of, and you know, that all the talent that are there feel like they were able to showcase themselves in the best way possible. That'll make me happy.
All right, and then I just wanted to ask you if you could expand a little bit on your comments about the 205 brand. You talked with Newsweek about a week or so ago and discussed 205 Live shifting under the NXT umbrella. That's led to some conspiracy theories out there that maybe this is the beginning of the end of 205 Live as a separate brand. I was wondering if you could kind of explain what you meant there. Is it maybe 205 Live is going to be taken full sale going forward? Maybe some of the talents are going to be absorbed back into NXT? Like, what does the future hold for the for the 205 Live series and the brand in terms of your vision?
Hold on, Mike. Wait just a second now. You're saying that I spoke to somebody and then you guys took it and ran with it and created conspiracy theories with alternate universe suggestions? I don't believe that for a second. Now, look, it really, for me, there's an opportunity. The cruiserweights, the 205 Live guys, if you want to speak, if you look at recent activities, you know, you've had some people like Chad Gable come in, but you've had also people like Swerve Scott and, you know, different people come up through the system and get there. I think it's more reasonable, and that championship sits better in an NXT umbrella that is more geared towards bell-to-bell action than it is on general entertainment. Does that mean that it doesn't mean any of the things that were speculated? It just means that that is where it sits better from a perception standpoint, so that maybe as time goes on, and none of this is written in stone, but as time goes on, rather than seeing the Cruiserweight Championship defended under a Clash of Champions banner or something like that, you see it at a takeover, or you see it someplace else. It doesn't mean that it can't take place in those things. It just means that it will also sit there and create more opportunities for everybody within that brand as well. There's a lot of talented performers there. Sometimes they don't always get the bigger opportunities to showcase what they can do, just due to where it sits and the opportunities that they have. So if this can offer them more opportunity to showcase how amazing they are as performers, that is exactly what I want to do. It's all about giving them the best opportunity. If there's an opportunity for them to do something there, and get more eyeballs, then I'm all into it.
Well, I'd say there's no argument that cruiserweights deserve more eyeballs behind them. Thanks as always. Always a pleasure. Appreciate talking to you.
Thank you, man.
And next we will hear from Alex McCarthy with TalkSport. Please go ahead.
Hey, Alex.
Hi, Paul. How you doing, bud?
I'm great. How are you?
Yeah, fantastic. I just wanted to touch on, obviously, I saw you in Cardiff and the fantastic show that was put on there, the NXT UK roster. There's been rumours that the likes of Deep Dunn, Rhea Ripley, maybe Toni Storm are likely to be full-time on the US brand now that you're moving to the USA Network. That'd be a thrill for NXT UK fans and Brits like myself. Can you confirm or comment on those suggestions?
So, I think if you look at it in a manner of the NXT UK brand sitting in that NXT bucket, I think you're going to see a lot of performers that are regular NXT UK talent crossing over into NXT on USA Network and performing there and showcasing their brand and what they do there. And helping awareness of that brand as well. Whether or not they become full-time on either brand, depending where they are, just like you've seen performers come from the U.S. and go over there, I think you will see back and forth. That you might see a performer that comes into Full Sail and has a 2 or 3 month run and then ends up back in the UK, like a sort of a program or a storyline here and then move back. I think you'll see back and forth. I don't think there's a hard line between those, as much as you would see with because they're constantly getting to see new and fresh, you know.
I mean, you mentioned yourself there, a bit of a two-headed question here. You mentioned yourself here the brand split. Is it safe to say, you know, NXT obviously now has a bigger platform. Are they going to be a part of that draft? Is it a three-brand draft, or is it just Raw and SmackDown? And in terms of NXT's schedule, it's rumoured that WWE is not going to do the city so much anymore. So can we expect more takeovers in their own right, a bit like the 25 show?
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, I wasn't sure exactly what you were asking there. Yeah, I got it on the end. Yeah, none of that is changing. You'll see some different scheduling opportunities in the upcoming 2020 calendar that are really scheduling changes. I think it gives the opportunity. I keep using that word about, but it really is. It's the UK, the talent that are in the UK, the talent that are here, the 205 talent, however you want to look at them, cruiserweight talent, to have them have as many eyeballs on them as often as possible. So whether that's on any of those three shows, I think if you look at that all as sitting under an NXT banner, then Raw having its own and SmackDown having its own. I think in this year, clearly, you know, as we move into a draft period with SmackDown moving to Fox broadcast, beginning of October, on October 4, I think as that draft hits, that's going to be more focused on Raw and SmackDown and where those brands lay out. But going forward, who knows? You know, I think this is a work in progress, and as NXT continues to do what it's done for the last 5 years and grow by leaps and bounds, you know, my intent is to create